I'll honour the inspector's request. The yard, CID and all. Respect for authority is the cornerstone of civilization. Must maintain discipline. Would have preferred a personal appeal.
Indeed, I'll tell him you felt slighted. He's sure to be mortified. Let's not tarry, Forbes. We'll go in now.
I warn you that it's dark and nasty inside.
That suits my mood down to the ground.
And I remind you, touch nothing. I've asked you not to touch club property. Put that back, if you please.
Forbes, my brother's snuff box is not included in your purview. Do not make yourself an unbearable nuisance.
Brother or no brother, you'll receive a bill for harm to that door. It's club property.
Has anyone worked on the gas lines in the last day or so?
Checked and bled by Midlands last week. All in perfect order. Like Inspector Lestrade says, gas accidents are the price of progress.
Depend on Lestrade for a cliché in lieu of exercising his brain. The Lectio Facilior is fine for paleography, but it won't do for logic. The man's reasoning powers are abysmal. Forbes, who relieves you when you're away from your post?
Always on duty, Mr. Holmes. The members have given me a room of my own.
Don't be obtuse. Surely you have bodily functions to attend to, tea breaks and so on?
I leave for a minute or two during the day. I have my 11s and tea at 4:30, with members' permission.
Do you remark anything odd about the entry, Forbes?
Well, it's burned and soaked with water, isn't it?
I mean, anything unexpected?
No, the place is a mess. I'll have to clean it up.
Watson, where did we find Mycroft exactly?
It was just here, Holmes, beneath his portrait. You swept him up in your arms as if he were a child. Your strength amazed me.
Adrenaline, Doctor. Danger animates and strengthens as often as it paralyzes. Mycroft never travels far without his snuff box.
Must have fallen from his pocket when he was struck down.
Unlikely. His other personal effects were undisturbed by the explosion.
What is your hypothesis?
Any speculation would be less than idle. I imagine it was blown in from somewhere. The lid might tell a story. I'll keep the box as a memento. Impressions, Doctor?
It is difficult to be very observant in such conditions. I am surprised by the uneven nature of the damage. With a few structural exceptions, the easily flammable object suffered most.
Very astute, Watson. Did any strangers enter the club in the afternoon?
No one escapes my eye, Mr. Holmes. After the late post, a few guests arrived and left. All perfectly respectable gentlemen.
I'm sure they were, Forbes. Were any of them carrying a valise or a large package, anything of that sort?
Certainly not. The Diogenes don't cater to commercial travellers. I send them packing.
This fellow is too eager to assert his authority, Watson.
He's as willful as a mule, but not as smart. I wouldn't mind taking him down a peg if the opportunity arose.
If Forbes continues to be obstructive, Watson, will you distract him?
With pleasure. We can't have him hovering.
Listen for my sign. I'll start jabbering incoherently.
But how will I recognize the sign, Holmes?
I just said... Oh, very amusing, Watson. Very droll. Watson, what do your feline orbs espy?
Outlines, Holmes. No real details. The smoke plays tricks with the light.
Was your clock face near the grandfather, Watson?
It was, Holmes. How did you guess?
You know my methods, Doctor. I do not guess. I observe. I deduce. Anything of significance, Watson?
Not that I can see, which isn't much.
I'd like more of what you found, or your skill in finding it.
I wouldn't call it skill, Holmes. It was dumb luck.
Most men's modesty is a sham or an excuse, Doctor. Your modesty becomes you. Forbes, the lounge appears wrapped in mourning bombazine.
It hardly matters. There's nothing to see.
You'll excuse me if I should come to a different conclusion.
Suit yourself. Remember, touch nothing. Club rules must be enforced, even in...
Please don't put yourself out. We can get on by ourselves.
You may think so. It's my job to monitor the activities of strangers.
Forbes truly is an intractable dunce, Watson. Be prepared for a signal.
With pleasure, Holmes. But please don't be premature. Make certain you have cause. I can't occupy him forever.
I could move it with my shoulder, but it's not worth being crushed by the falling rubble. Watson, might I have a word?
What is it, Holmes?
Do you see a way to dislodge that particular beam without loss of life or limb?
Remove it from a distance. But Forbes will be unhappy if you interfere with that pile.
Then he must be distracted. Watson, I was just thinking of that embalmed armadillo.
Do tell, Holmes.
The military implications are momentous. Impenetrable armor plating, low to the ground. Indefatigable diggers. Perhaps they could be bred larger and taught to fire a cannon. I'll get on to the War Department, shall I? You might analyze the shelves. Was the destruction of the book selective or random, based on Babbage's principle of non-discriminating violent action?
As you say, Holmes.
Excellent, Watson, excellent.
Just a moment, Doctor. I'll superintend your activity. Mr. Holmes appears to have gone daft.
Here's the little darling, unexpected and therefore most interesting, but an expert would find it even more illuminating.
I hope you're satisfied.
You'd be the last to know, Forbes. You'll note I'm authorized to investigate matters relating to the Diogenes explosion.
It's nothing to me. The inspector has no standing among my charges, the quick or the dead. In any case, this is a solicitation for cooperation, not an order.
Matron, I would like to see my brother, Mycroft Holmes.
Your desire and hospital policy do not happen to coincide.
Hospital policy be damned, he's in a precarious condition.
Language, Mr. Holmes. Don't make me call the police.
Why this animus? Is it that incident with the bedpans? Do you still hold a grudge for that student prank?
Assume what you will. Your tenure here was mercifully brief. The medical profession lost nothing when you left us.
No need to be insulting, Matron.
As neither of you have any official standing here, please move along.
I ask again, in a civil manner, for permission to see my brother. I am his only relation.
I cannot allow sympathy to shift my judgment. Mr. Holmes will not expire any time soon. There's no need to disturb him and transgress hospital regulations.
That tears it, Watson. It's war. Matron, why is this patient forced to languish in this pestiferous hall?
This hall is scrubbed daily. The patient and his insignificant ailments wait on the convenience of one of our most distinguished physicians.
By the time that worthy arrives, he may be able to add pneumonia or influenza to the man's symptoms.
Tend to your own knitting, Mr. Holmes. We will attend to ours.
Watson, will this influenza become an epidemic?
I don't know, Holmes, but any viral disease poses a serious risk even to the healthy.
In that case, a hospital is no place to be. Let us stay no longer than absolutely necessary. Have you conceived of a perfectly gruesome method for disposing of the brute?
Nothing so permanent, alas, but a diversion might serve us. She can't attend to her patients and her paperwork at once.
Watson, I'm grateful that mischief is part of your makeup. The invalid might assist us. Would you mind if I pushed your gurney to a warmer and more sanitary spot?
As long as I'm on it, I couldn't care less. Any change of scenery would be appreciated.
That patient must be retrieved. I won't forget this. You've earned trouble for yourselves.
Watson, I think we should...
I'm with you, Holmes. Thank you. It never gives me pleasure to deny or ignore your inquiries, Mr. Holmes, but things must be done properly.
Your findings on Sir Hubert, please, Doctor.
The official cause of death was asphyxiation. There is evidence of extensive brain trauma.
And the laceration on his head?
Occurred before death. It is not, however, the source of the brain injury.
Typically precise and pertinent, Doctor.
Flatterer. Now that you've had your way with me, you'll be off to the new ward just like Dr. Watson. You'll pass from my morgue like snow in April.
Perhaps. But we all must travel this way again. We are all yours in the end, Doctor. Might I examine the body?
Yes, I'll try not to take your request as a criticism of my performance.
Might I see Sir Hubert's clothes?
Help yourself. You know where I keep them.
Now, Watson, the means to probe Mycroft's inner sanctum are in hand. Hello, brother. You're keeping well, I hope?
Yes, elephant ears, too inquisitive by her. Imbecilic, treacherous louts. Those fools are playing at what? What? Where are you? Sherlock!
Calm yourself, Mycroft. I'm right here. Tell me why you summoned us to the Diogenes.
No. It's safe. Joburg chaps, first rate, who died but was not born.
That's too obscure. What's safe? My brain isn't everything it might be, Mycroft. Nor is yours, it seems. What is it, Mycroft? What do you have for me? Where do you have it?
Where's the heart? Shush. Here's the secret. Sahara has none. Better than cursing the darkness.
Come again?
I'm so tired. Now I lay me down to sleep.
Mycroft, do you recall Clifford, Ashley, Buckingham, Arlington and Lauderdale?
A clique of intriguers. Are they back? Where?
His incapacity is not permanent. He knows a cabal when he hears it. His club's in ruins. He wouldn't risk his office. Home is where the heart is. He must mean he has something at his digs.
I'd rather not get nicked for breaking and entering.
I'll hardly be denied access to my own brother's flat.
Do you imagine a senior minister's portal is more easily penetrable than Mrs. Hudson's door?
As always, Watson, you make an excellent point. I'm armed to do battle with Matron, Doctor. I trust you will support me.
At your service, Holmes. We shall secure Mycroft's effects or die in the attempt.
When Stevenson wrote that there is nothing like a little judicious levity, he might have added, thank heaven. Are you awake, sir? Do you know your name? Sister, I strongly recommend that this patient's vital signs be taken. You may be surprised by the result. Have you made anything of Mycroft's speech, Watson?
No. I wish I'd read Freud's recent work more closely. Or perhaps the neurologists would be more informative. He can talk in symbols and anagrams and riddles, but conventional speech seems impossible. Were we not desperate for information, it would be entirely fascinating.
But as we are desperate, it is aggravating. We must be inventive. Can you repeat what my brother has said since you've been on duty?
I'm no eavesdropper. He uses mostly big words, and his language has not been of the highest quality. I brushed more than once.
As a courtesy, matron, I inform you that we are going inside.
Given your reprehensible behaviour, Mr. Holmes, I don't think so.
Were I to inform the director that you left a patient untended for hours and exposed him to a contagious virus, she is sure to take a very dim view of your performance. You have been negligent, matron, and you have violated your own precious hospital policy.
The patient required no special treatment. He was admitted with a minor head injury.
That's as may be, but his fall resulted from his sickness. He is critically ill with a respiratory ailment. Exposure to flu could kill him. Shall we keep your oversight among ourselves?
Yes.
Please be more careful in future. Please retrieve my brother's effects, matron, immediately.
I'll take up your behaviour with the director, Mr. Holmes. Your ruse has violated the essence of hospital policy.
Matron, this receipt is in order. Spare me the lecture and produce the effects.
I note that age has not improved your intractable character.
Allegations of theft or misappropriation would not serve the hospital. I'll sign for the keyring. You may keep the wallet and other items. A person in your position should not be guided by prejudice, matron.
You've never thought much of my judgment or my authority, Mr. Holmes. Now, if there's nothing more, please leave.
Mm-hmm.